Set in 1993, the movie begins with Erin Brockovich, an unemployed single mother of 3, struggling through one of the lowest points in her life. She attends a job interview, but due to her lack of experience and professionalism, she is rejected. Erin is intelligent, but her life choices, having children and marrying the wrong men twice, have left her in an average position, far from the success she once envisioned. After the interview, Erin steps outside to smoke before heading home. Just as she gets into her car, another vehicle speeds through the street and crashes into her, causing her to swerve violently. The impact leaves her with a serious neck injury, making her financial situation even more desperate. The accident was caused by a doctor running a red light, so Erin decides to take legal action, hoping for compensation that could ease her growing debts.
Remind me.
Erin Brockovich, car accident.
She meets with Ed Masry, a lawyer, and explains her dire situation. Ed assures her they have a strong case and promises to hold the doctor accountable.
Listen, whoever did this to you made one hell of a mistake.
During the trial, Erin's testimony reveals the depth of her struggles. She is $17,000 in debt, has no health insurance, and endures pain without medication because she must care for her children.
Just want to be a good mom. Nice person.
However, her emotional and aggressive demeanor in court works against her. The opposing lawyer paints her as a desperate woman trying to exploit a wealthy doctor, and ultimately, she loses the case.
A doctor in a Jaguar must have looked like a pretty good meal ticket.
Objection.
That smashed in my neck.
Justice? Only for those who can afford it. Outside the courtroom, Erin confronts Ed, accusing him of giving her false hope. His lack of sympathy makes her question his sincerity.
You told me I had a good shot. I had no shot.
Okay, let's try and settle
Frustrated and humiliated, she returns home to pick up her children from a neighbor who has been babysitting them.
I sat in the steam with her to try to loosen it up, but...
The woman informs Erin that she is moving away, meaning Erin now has to find another babysitter. Overwhelmed by yet another problem, she struggles to prepare dinner, her injury making even simple tasks difficult. When her youngest child keeps crying, she decides to take them out to eat, though she pretends she has already eaten so they won't worry about her.
My lawyer took me out to a fancy lunch to celebrate, and I'm still stuffed.
Later that night, alone, she eats canned beans, realizing she must turn her life around soon or risk running out of resources entirely. The next morning, Erin begins job hunting, but every attempt ends in rejection.
Great personality, good voice.
Some jobs require computer skills, while others demand experience, neither of which she possesses. Meanwhile, Ed, who once seemed confident about winning her case, now avoids her calls.
No, but I've called about a dozen times. Yes, I'd like to leave another message.
With only $74 left in her bank account and no job prospects, Erin grows increasingly desperate. Refusing to accept defeat, she storms into Ed's law office the next day and boldly announces that she has started working there, despite not being hired.
She works here.
Did you?
I'm sorry about that.
I don't
really
need
am.
pity. I need a paycheck. I'm smart, I'm hardworking, and I'll do anything, and I'm not leaving here without a job.
Sometimes you don't wait for doors to open, you just kick them down. Ed's secretary, Brenda, is shocked, and even Ed himself is caught off guard. However, unwilling to argue, he reluctantly allows her to stay. As Erin starts working at the law firm, it becomes clear that she is different from the other women in the office. Her bold fashion choices stand out, but she wears them with confidence. One Friday, she approaches Ed, asking for an advance on her paycheck since she needs money for the weekend. Since the accountant has already left for the day, Ed offers her money from his own wallet.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Here. Where do you think your paycheck comes from? Here.
After work, Erin picks up her children from a babysitter who is doing her a favor. That night, as she puts them to bed, she hears the loud rumbling of a motorcycle outside. Irritated, she storms outside and scolds her new neighbor, George, for disturbing the peace. Rather than being offended, George is intrigued by her fiery personality.
Wait, hold on there. Let's start over, okay? I feel bad. I feel terrible. I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology?
He tries to flirt, asking for her number, but Erin, both annoyed and slightly flustered, quips that the only numbers she has are her 2 kids, her 2 ex-husbands, and the $74 left in her account. Richard Gere must have missed his cue, or I missed mine.
16 is the number of dollars I have in my bank account. 8503943.
The next day at work, Ed assigns Erin a simple investigation case. While discussing the assignment, he casually mentions that some women in the office disapprove of her wardrobe and suggests she reconsider her choices.
Rethink your wardrobe a little.
Why is that?
If professionalism had a dress code, poverty sure didn't get the memo. So instead of feeling ashamed, Erin confidently states that she likes how she dresses and sees no reason to change.
You might want to rethink those ties.
After work, she goes to pick up her kids, but finds the babysitter's house locked.
Hello? Matthew?
Panicked, she rushes home, calling out for them. Eventually, she finds them in George's backyard, happily eating burgers.
What the hell happened?
Hey, Mama.
Hey, hungry?
Initially alarmed that her children are at a stranger's house, she relaxes when George explains that the babysitter had an emergency and dropped them off with him. Free childcare and a free meal? Either I hit the jackpot or I should be very suspicious. That night, after putting the kids to bed, Erin and George share a lighthearted conversation.
Well, I'm sure I'll come up eventually.
What's the matter? You got so many friends in this world you can't use one more?
He offers to babysit whenever she needs help, admitting he enjoys spending time with them. There is clear chemistry between them, but both hold back, guarded by their pride.
Get in bed.
No, that's good, because I didn't find you attractive either. Because now I can just look after the kids and I don't have to worry about you coming on to me all the time.
Later that night, Erin stays up reading the documents Ed assigned her. What initially seemed like a routine real estate case involving Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E, catches her attention. The case revolves around Donna Jensen, a resident of Hinckley, California, who is considering selling her home to PG&E. Sensing something odd, Erin decides to dig deeper. The next day, she approaches Ed and asks if she can investigate the case further.
Sorry. Would you mind if I investigate this a little further?
Investigate what?
He agrees, and Erin drives to Hinckley to meet Donna in person. Donna explains that PG&E wants to buy their property, but she and her husband don't want to move unless they get a substantial offer.
Oh, I don't want to move. Uproot the kids?
While reviewing the case files, Erin noticed something unusual. Medical records are included in the real estate documents. Curious, she asks Donna about it.
How come the files on that are in with all the real estate?
Donna reveals that her family has suffered severe health issues, including tumors and her husband's Hodgkin's lymphoma. However, she trusts PG&E because they have been providing free medical care, never sending them a single bill. Donna also casually mentions that PG&E cited chromium as the reason for their medical care, which piques Erin's curiosity.
Why'd they do that?
Because of the chromium.
The what?
If a billion-dollar company is paying your medical bills, you're probably the experiment, not the patient. Determined to uncover the truth, Erin begins researching chromium and its effects. A medical professor informs her that while some forms of chromium are harmless, the one mentioned in her case, hexavalent chromium, is highly toxic and carcinogenic.
Chronic headaches and nosebleeds, to respiratory disease, liver failure. Every county has one. They keep records of anything water-related within their jurisdiction.
Digging deeper, Erin visits the local water board and uncovers alarming documents suggesting that PG&E has contaminated Hinckley's groundwater with hexavalent chromium. Shockingly, the company has been misleading residents, claiming that the chemical they use is safe. Realizing she is onto something huge, Erin spends days collecting evidence, often staying away from the office. When she returns, she finds her desk cleared out.
Where's my stuff?
Where have you been?
Furious, she storms into Ed's office, demanding an explanation.
Wait.
I left a message. I've been dealing with this real estate thing. I was going to write a whole damn report. Well, what am I supposed to do? Check in every 2 seconds?
Yes, it's called accountability.
He fires her on the spot for disappearing without notice. Enraged and hurt, Erin lashes out, accusing him of being ungrateful.
I'm trying to help.
Bullshit. You're trying to make yourself feel less guilty about firing someone with 3 kids to feed.
The punishment for working too hard, losing the job you didn't officially have, defeated, she returns home to find George fixing her sink. Overwhelmed by how everything is spiraling out of control, she takes her frustration out on him.
Get out. Oh, Jesus! Jesus! Who lives like this, George?
She confesses how dissatisfied she is with her life, lamenting that every time she tries her best, things seem to fall apart. Later that night, George finds her sitting alone, lost in thought. She confesses that she was once a beauty queen and had always believed she would make a difference in the world. From pageant crowns to legal breakdowns, life sure has a sense of humor. Feeling for her, George comforts her, and in a vulnerable moment, they share a kiss. He reassures her that he won't be another disappointment in her life. They grow more comfortable with each other, and George reminds her that she is still an incredible woman with untapped potential.
You're a very special lady.
A few days later, while scanning job listings in the newspaper, Erin unexpectedly hears her doorbell ring, and it's Ed. He asks her to return, admitting that the university she consulted confirmed her findings. At the levels Erin uncovered, hexavalent chromium could cause cancer. Now convinced she is onto something big, he wants to hear more.
Look, I'm sorry. You were gone. I just assumed you were off having fun.
You want to know? You have to hire me back. I got a ton of bills to pay.
Feeling vindicated, Erin agrees to let him in and begins explaining Donna's story, her husband's medical history, and how PG&E manipulated the residents into believing their chemicals were harmless. With renewed determination, Erin gears up for what will become the fight of her life.
I want a raise. And benefits.
10% raise and benefits. That's it. I'm drawing the line.
Impressed, he grants her a 10% increase along with health benefits. Finally, a paycheck that acknowledges her suffering. She then presents him with stacks of crucial documents she had copied.
Well, so far, but that place is a pigsty. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more.
The next day, she visits the records office again, gathering more files related to the company and its long-standing history with the residents of Hinckley. When the man who was once fascinated by her appearance asks her to return the documents, she firmly argues that they are public records.
These papers are a matter of public record, and I'm not leaving.
Through relentless investigation, Erin uncovers a horrifying truth. PG&E has knowingly exposed the residents to toxic chemicals for years, concealing their actions and deceiving affected families. Turns out the real poison here isn't just in the water, it's in the system.
But PG&E paid for that, Doctor.
Ashley! Stand up! You're at the pool!
As Erin interviews more people, she uncovers a pattern of unexplained illnesses, miscarriages, and cancer cases, all linked to contaminated water. The deeper she digs, the more personal the case becomes.
How many were born like this?
12 or 5 miscarriages.
I'm so sorry.
Ed and Erin meet PG&E lawyer Mr. Foyle, who offers the Jensens $250,000 for their home. Ed argues the company's damage extends beyond property loss. Their offer won't even cover medical costs.
I understand they've had a bad run of luck, health-wise.
When Mr. Foyle insists it's the best he can do, Ed gets up to leave, warning that such an insult will only escalate the case.
PG&E is a $28 billion corporation.
I didn't know it was that much. Wow!
That night, Erin finds George and the kids asleep. George says their daughter is in bed, but their son stayed up waiting. Her job is taking a toll on her family.
Did you do your homework?
Yeah.
I know you're upset, but it's not like I miss dinner all the time. We all ate together last night.
Guilt weighs on Erin as she realizes how much she's missed. The next morning, she and Ed visit Donna and other affected residents. Ed explains they are negotiating higher sale prices and retroactive bonuses.
It's okay. We're not suing.
Not yet.
However, he plans to take 40% of any settlement, unsettling the residents.
My fee's 40% of whatever you get awarded.
Erin reassures them. Ed is taking a huge risk, and if they lose, he earns nothing.
The first time I heard that number, I said, you've got to be kidding me. What he makes if I don't get anything.
Then I don't get anything either.
Persuaded, the residents sign, beginning legal action against PG&E. Erin continues interviewing victims. Many are terminally ill, some have died, and even children have cancer. Winning their trust, she convinces them to fight back. Once seen as a generous provider, PG&E is now exposed for its greed and negligence. Determined to gather proof, Erin visits the PG&E plant, collecting water samples and a dead frog before escaping unnoticed. One night, she receives an anonymous threat, warning her to stop.
Is this the Erin Brockovich that's been snooping around the water board?
Shaken, she confides in George, who urges her to reconsider. Her children need her too.
Erin, it doesn't have to be so complicated. There are plenty of jobs out there, okay? Because I can get a job. I will. And you can start leaving the kids with a chicken fat lady again, okay? Please, Erin, I know what these kids can sleep through. I probably will.
The next day, Erin confronts a records office employee for giving out her number, accusing him of aiding PG&E's cover-up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't. People are dying, Scott. You've got document after document here right under...
That night, while driving, Erin calls George. He shares that Betty spoke her first word that day. Overcome with emotion, Erin realizes how much she's sacrificing.
And she pointed at a ball and said, ball. She didn't look away or anything. She was just sitting there with her arm out.
9 months later, at a community barbecue, Erin and Ed inform residents about PG&E's deception. A man flirts with Erin, but she brushes it off.
I think there's more important information than that, and trust me.
Ed and Erin gather more evidence. Most Hinckley residents saw PG&E affiliated doctors who falsely assured them their conditions weren't linked to contamination. Now, they must convince the community to fight back.
You gotta promise me that we're gonna get them.
What started as a simple compensation claim for the Jensens has grown into a 634 plaintiff class action lawsuit. However, the strongest evidence ties the contamination to PG&E's Hinckley plant, not its senior management. Pressured, PG&E attorney Ms. Sanchez offers a $20 million settlement.
Oh, see, now that pisses me off. They may not be the most sophisticated people, but they do know how to divide, and $20 million isn't shit when you...
Furious, Erin calls it an insult and offers Sanchez a glass of water, claiming it's from Hinckley.
By the way, we had that water brought in special for you folks.
That night, George, yearning for his old free-spirited life, tells Erin to choose her job or their relationship.
Erin, what I'm thinking is that either you gotta find a different job or a different guy.
How can you ask me to do that?
But Erin, who has always sacrificed for men, refuses to be the one compromising this time. She spent years choosing men over my future. Maybe this time she'll choose differently.
For the first time in my life, I got people respecting me. Please don't ask me to give it up.
They break up, leaving Erin without childcare support.
I mean, you got a raise. You can afford daycare. You don't need me.
Struggling financially, Ed partners with a larger firm led by Kurt to share costs. Erin, feeling sidelined, argues he should have consulted her first.
Our new partner? When was I going to hear about this in the monthly newsletter?
Doesn't matter. Erin, will you listen to me? It doesn't matter. You want to win this?
That afternoon, as Erin spends time with her kids, she hears George's motorcycle roaring away without a word. Soon after, a delivery man hands her a package from Ed. Inside are $5,000 for a babysitter and keys for her next investigation. Ed, trying to make amends, supports her efforts once more. Knowing PG&E could stall for years, he pushes for binding arbitration over a jury trial.
How many plaintiffs do you have?
634.
Those people in Hinckley would
These
still...
people are expecting a trial.
Erin, dissatisfied but trusting Ed's experience, reluctantly agrees. As Erin interviews more residents, she falls ill but pushes on. One night, she gets a call from a worried family doubting Ed.
I called Ed 2 days ago, Erin, and he still hasn't called me back.
With the town losing faith in arbitration, Erin vows to fight for them.
I will take care of this, I promise.
Now, we're trusting you here, so...
Thanks.
Despite being on sick leave, she barges into a law firm meeting to remind Ed of her hard work and insist justice must serve the victims.
You weren't feeling great,
Oh,
huh?
you know what? That is
I wanted you to
bullshit.
rest. Get in here.
How could you take this away from me?
Nobody's taking anything.
Ed explains PG&E will only proceed if 90% of plaintiffs agree, making it a difficult task. At a town hall, he presents arbitration, but residents hesitate.
It's definitely between $50 and $400 million.
Well, how does it get divided?
Yeah, who gets what?
During the debate, Erin ignores the man who flirted with her earlier. Ed warns that the alternative is a decade-long court battle. Eventually, attendees agree, and Erin and Ed begin persuading all 634 plaintiffs to sign. George, despite their breakup, agrees to babysit while Erin secures signatures. Determined, she tirelessly visits homes, ensuring residents commit to the lawsuit. One evening, at a bar meeting, Erin unexpectedly encounters a familiar face from Hinckley events.
Don't I know you? I was watching you.
The man, Charles Embry, reveals he once worked for PG&E and was ordered to destroy incriminating documents.
Would it be important to you if I told you that when I worked at the Hinckley plant, I destroyed documents?
Realizing the significance, Erin rushes to call Ed, excitedly telling him she's found a key witness.
This guy, Charles, he said that he destroyed records. He worked at Hinckley.
Slow down.
Ed urges her to gain Charles's trust and get the full story.
Huh? Remember, if it weren't for you, I'd be in Palm Springs right now.
Back at the bar, Charles confides that both he and his late cousin worked at PG&E's Hinckley plant. His cousin suffered and died from toxic exposure. Charles, instead of destroying documents, secretly kept records proving PG&E knowingly endangered the community. Evil isn't loud. It signs contracts, wears suits, and sips coffee while ruining lives. Charles ultimately agrees to give Erin the documents, including a crucial 1966 memo proving that PG&E's corporate headquarters had long been aware that the water was contaminated with hexavalent chromium. Armed with this new evidence, Erin and Ed head to the arbitration office the next day, where PG&E's legal team awaits.
634. They're all signed. Every single one.
With pride, Erin presents the signed agreements from all 634 plaintiffs, along with the damning documents Charles provided. The revelation stuns them, leaving them visibly unsettled. PG&E is now undeniably guilty, and their attempts to cover up the truth have crumbled. Shortly after, Erin visits the Jensens to deliver the life-changing news, bringing George along so he can witness the impact of his support.
I want to show you what you helped to do.
Upon arriving, Donna welcomes them warmly, and Erin excitedly announces that the court has ruled in their favor. PG&E is ordered to pay a historic $333 million settlement, the largest class action lawsuit of its kind in the U.S.
And he's going to make them give $5 million of that to your family.
Turns out persistence pays. Quite literally, the Jensens alone will receive $5 million, ensuring they have the means to rebuild their lives. In the aftermath, Ed stops by Erin's desk with an envelope in hand. He warns her that he has adjusted the amount of her bonus, prompting her to protest, insisting she deserves more respect for her efforts.
Figure's not exactly what we discussed. Lawyer.
You should reward me accordingly. It's not complicated. You know what?
But as she opens the envelope, she is left speechless. Ed has actually increased the amount, rewarding her dedication with a $2 million payout.
Do they teach beauty queens how to apologize?
Overwhelmed with joy and fulfillment, Erin returns home, knowing she has made a real difference. They say heroes wear capes, but Erin did it in leopard print and heels. The film is actually based on true events. Following the landmark case, Ed relocates his law firm, Masri and Vitito, to a prestigious new office, while Erin secures a spacious workspace of her own. Together, they continue fighting for justice, taking on corporations that prioritize profit over human lives and ensuring that communities like Hinckley receive the compensation they rightfully deserve.